But still, he hasn't eaten since.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ki-West. Welcome for a little evening walk around the harbor area, the A&B Marina. Hey Melly, hey Peter, Big Bear. Hope everybody is doing good, staying healthy, washing those hands. Had some issues with the intro video here. And of course it is a quiet night in Ki-West. It has cooled down a little bit. It says it's still feels like 78. I did bring a shirt though, just in case. I have my Cali Racer shirt, Peter. So just in case. It's been a bit chilly in the shade today. Hey Richard. So this is pretty much one of the areas where you can go pretty much up to the water. You know the spots where we've been doing the last streams for the sunset. The last area that was open was next to the Margaritaville Resort, and guess what? I just rode by and it looks like they closed that one down because, surprise, surprise, there were too many people. Because it was the last area where you can actually go if you want to see the sunset. So we're probably just gonna be looking at a little bit of a glow here, because of course the sun is setting on the other side of the island, but at least you get to see some water. So yes, they have been shutting down pretty much all of the public places. They are encouraging people to stay home, go out for basically essential things like grocery shopping, and they're having a little bit of a hard time getting people to do that here. So let's be clear, I'm taking you guys on my evening walk. I'm wearing my sneakers. Hey Chris. Hey Marzan, as known as Angel. Joe. Joe, there you are. Where have you been? We started to be worried. Hope everything is good up in Orlando. Hey Fred. Looks like these guys are checking out what's going on here. So since all the areas where you can see the sunset or go for a walk really have been closed down, this is the only area that is not like downtown or regular neighborhood streets where you can go for a walk. So of course you do have more people. Lots of people come out at night to do their exercise. It is pretty hot in the sun during the day, so it's either early in the morning or around sunset time. It's the perfect time. And the light is beautiful. Hey Ki-West 444, welcome back. Glad to hear everything's okay, Joe. He brought his little lounger chair.
a ship down here right now.
She's from here. That's why she's
Yep,
still here.
I'm still here. That's why I'm still here.
Hey, we don't live for hurricanes. We don't live for this either.
Exactly.
Hurricanes don't get us one well, right?
That's the best roadblock to ever put up.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
Hanging
you
on
know, I
fist bump.
propose as the Ki-Uest.
What's up?
What's it called? As the Ki-Uest Positivity Committee, I propose.
Hi, my name's Rob.
Hi.
One time a year,
Hi.
us locals get a week without any tourists, just like this, without a virus.
I know.
Where all the locals just get to hang out and turn up.
I just wish they would open like a little bit more of the open, like the public spaces. They just closed down the last area at
So
the.
next year, when we don't have this problem, we're gonna do it again in the honor of this. We'll have a whole week of just locals.
A locals week.
I love my dude. He's so positive about everything. That's why I hang out with him. So I'm just trying to get to a little island, spend the night, come back, get my stuff, head out again.
You're right. Take care. Take care. Why do we always get the weird guys when we are in this area? So yes, they brought their chair. You can get a little bit of sun here, see the sunset. Not too much, it's gonna be behind the palm trees there. But as I mentioned, it's one of the last areas where you can actually get close to the water. So as you can see, it's the time of the day where the locals are out. And as he mentioned, didn't get his name. As he mentioned, the roadblock is still up. So initially the roadblock has been set up last Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So roadblock up last Friday, and then the state of Florida wanted to take it down. Said that they were not going to give any head count in order to help to maintain the roadblock. So on Sunday, some of the local authorities took over and are now running the checkpoint. I think they turned around something like 2,000 cars so far. People that were still coming down to the Keys. That's what he was referring to. Looks like Schooners has a little bit of music here. Of course, the bars are closed. They do have takeout available. Okay. What does my husband say? How low on toilet paper are we? Should I get a Carantini? It comes with free toilet paper. So yeah, the island is still running low, or should I say, does not have any toilet paper, any other paper, towels, etc. So that is the only thing that we are pretty much out of, and I don't know if we're just never at the store at the right time. So I guess it's the same for everybody. Yes, they turned around a woman that absolutely refused to actually turn around at the checkpoint because it was on her bucket list to drive over the bridges on the Florida Keys. So they turned her around and then she came back and she tried again. So people still trying to come to the Keys. Of course, you can come down to the Keys if you own a property here, if you live here, if you work here. You just need to have some paperwork to show. But we are closed to visitors. And as everywhere, the recommendation is to stay home, of course, unless you're going for a little sunset walk like this, or grocery shopping, buying essentials, going to the pharmacy, etc. They still allow exercise and walking and biking. And I guess with that in mind, they closed down all the public areas. So I guess you're not allowed to see the sunset during your walk. And I'm gonna take you guys over to Duval Street in a moment. Of course, if you've seen our last stream, well, one of the last streams where we're doing an update on Ki-West, we have started repaving Duval Street. And it's a pretty big construction site right now. Yes, Joe. We had a similar case in Luxembourg. My brother sent me a link on a guy that was coughing on, I think it was like probably a random traffic control or something. So yeah, he did the same thing. So apparently that guy was coughing onto the cops and screaming "Corona, Corona." So yes, they arrested that guy. It seems like a lot of people are preoccupied by this, obviously, as we all are. And in the drunken state, seem to be doing that kind of stuff. It's interesting that you had one in Daytona like that. What else can I update you on? Well, I start to see more and more people with masks. So, or some weird things where people are wearing gloves but no mask. I guess it's probably what you can get hold of. So let's just go back, as if we go in that direction. You can see get a little bit of the sun. Get some last rays of sun, boost your vitamin D, boost your immune system. Except for that, what are the updates on Ki-West ever since our last stream? So we're gonna have a look at the construction in just a minute. It's funny because we see pretty much, so I start seeing posts from people here like, oh, this was our week's project. Oh, we took out the carpet and we put in some wooden floors. And then I bump into my neighbors and they're carrying around buckets of paint. So everybody's kind of, the whole island is like constructing. That's kind of what it feels like. Hardware stores are pretty busy. So yes, always something to fix. And I think one of the only other changes is that the Ki-West Transit, so the buses have shut down to make sure that people don't really gather in buses or... I mean, there's pretty much nowhere to go except if you want to do your groceries. And, you know, the big supermarkets are a little bit outside of the city center. So, but you can still, you know, shop your groceries. Right here, we definitely don't have a shortage on fish, so the local fish stores are having a lot of choices. We still have some pretty decent takeout food available. So the state of Florida has put a stay at home. Oh, hello you. That's a funny chicken. Look at this guy. That's a cute one. Like a Dalmatian chicken. Okay, now I lost track of what I was saying just before. So if I'm missing out on any comments, I just see the last couple of lines. Yes, we are close to 1,000 subscribers. It's pretty crazy to think that we finally made it there. I think we have like 5 to go, if I can trust what's on my screen. So 5 more. And of course we've been planning a 1,000 subscriber special. Now the thing is, it happened a little bit faster than we thought. So our idea for the video requires a certain location, and we're only going to be able to do that next week. So we are working on a 1,000 subscriber special. It might just be a little bit late. Apologies for that. The last 100 here went pretty quick. And next question was from Richard, if we're allowed to feed the chickens. So normally you kind of aren't, well, talking about not feeding the chickens. So no, I mean the consensus is normally you're not supposed to feed the wildlife and that they kind of can fend for themselves. And I mean, a lot of the chickens hang out in areas where there is a lot of soil. You can see them look for worms after the rain and everything. And you know, like here there are bushes and gravel and stuff where they can look for food. So technically, no, you're not supposed to feed the wildlife. Of course, the tourists do. Now, I'm kind of a little bit in a limbo situation when it comes to the chickens that are around Mallory Square. Because Mallory Square doesn't have a lot of green areas. It doesn't have a lot of soil where they could look for food. And, well, with the sunset celebration and all the people there normally, they do get a lot of food because people drop popcorn. There is a restaurant right next to it where they get like little things that fall on the floor. Probably lots of tortilla chips and salsa and other Cuban goodies, El Mesón de Pepe. So I'm a little bit in a limbo situation because I know that those chickens are normally living off the food that they find there. And leaving them to fend for themselves kind of seems a little bit brutal to me because they don't really have a chance to do that. So during our last stream when we did this update and we walked through the streets of Ki-West, we had somebody donating. I think her name is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, if you are watching. So I did go out and got some food for the chickens. So my first idea was, you know, trying to stay as close to what they would find as possible, what they would find in nature. So I actually put a lot of thought into what to give to these chickens. And so I probably would have to order that online because you cannot find it here. You can barely find any bird food or any kinds of chicken feed here on the island, of course. So I was looking for the dried worms and I don't know what. So I couldn't find any of that. And then I asked around and, you know, I was like, okay, I know some people do feed the chickens. I was like, okay, what do you give them? And they're like, oh, you can give them anything. And, well, with the heat as well, I'm not going to start, you know, saving scraps and, you know, carrying them around while I'm doing a live stream. So I bought some coarse cornmeal and some dried corn. And just picking it up in a minute, it is in my trike. So, and I figured we can head over and see if those weird chickens are still hanging out in that weird chicken tree in that little passage way next to El Maison de Pepe. Hope we're not gonna get into any trouble for that. And as I said, we normally would not feed the wildlife. They are supposed to fend for themselves. But I don't know how those guys would do it. So let's see if we can get anywhere near close to them. You know, the closures change all the time here. So the rum distilleries are still open. You know that the first legal rum distillery is making hand sanitizers. If you haven't done so, you can check that out on a previous stream. I think the thumbnail is a little bottle of rum. They were making hand sanitizer together with the advice of the local hospital. So that's pretty cool. Of course, liquor is an essential business here in Ki-West, still open. The liquor stores are open. And here we go. This is what the corner of Green Street and Duval Street looks like. And what is really funny is that all the locals are out for their evening walk. Again, this is the time it gets a little bit cooler. It's still 78 degrees. And here is the construction. Now you have people over there trying to throw the quarter in the grouper at Tony's. I haven't seen that in a long time. They're not doing it right. You're supposed to put the heels on the curb and turn your back to the grouper. And then you throw in your quarter. Or not. Okay, so here is our Green Street and Duval Street update. I would say this corner pretty much looks like last time. So they have started doing the sidewalks. I know they're trying to do a lot of them, changing them to ADA compliant, which I think they weren't before, not necessarily. It's difficult to say. So all 4 areas right now here, all 4, well, all 3. Actually, they left that one as it is. Hey! So they're doing the sidewalks, of course, some repaving here. I would imagine this is a temporary solution for this one here. And what is a shame is that there are old bricks under these roads. And it would have been so nice if they would have been able to take off all the asphalt and keep the bricks. But I mean, obviously that is a totally different ballgame in terms of work. And what is funny is that it seems like they are doing the whole of Duval Street at the same time. So the initial communication was, oh, we start at Green Street and then we work our way over to Truman Avenue. And I actually see construction going on pretty much everywhere at the same time. And they decided pretty much in 24 hours to redo Duval Street. So they had started repaving Simonton Street, which is one street east of Duval Street. So that was the first one they started, but that was like a long-term project. Everybody was aware, traffic was being redirected, etc. So they did that, and then when all the coronavirus things happened and Ki-West closed down, and it was pretty clear that the town and the island is going to be empty for a while, except for us locals. And they're like, okay, let's repave Duval Street. So they said that one day, and then they literally started the next, which for Ki-West standards is just absolutely mind-blowing. Nothing happens that fast here. Hey, Mama, welcome back. Looks like we have some guys patrolling tonight to make sure we don't have too many people grouping together, as everywhere are not supposed to be more than 10. Although you're probably not really supposed to be out here unless you're going for a walk, and then you normally do that alone anyways. So as you can see, they also started on this side. So there is more construction going on right here. Of course, the contours, the trolley and the trains aren't running. This looks like it is all freshly done. And of course the parking spaces. You wouldn't believe it. We have parking spaces all over the island. Hey everybody who just joined or who I might have missed out earlier, saying hi, welcome back, good to see you, good to have you back. So somebody told me the other day that they saw people on the ocean pier, sunset pier webcam, not sure which one. So no, you're not, I mean, it's definitely, everything is closed up. You have several barriers in order to access Sunset Pier, and then from there you can access Mallory Square, which of course right now is closed. Looks like we're missing out on some really beautiful colors tonight. So let's see if we can get any closer on the other side. And let me grab the chicken feed on the way. I left it in my bike, and then looks like old habits never die. I parked in front of Tony's. So let me grab some chicken feed, homemade. I might have to fine-tune the recipe a little. So we had a lot of people writing to us saying that they were supposed to be in Key West right now, or thinking about canceling their upcoming trips because they were next month. So while it looks like you should probably definitely reschedule if you were due to come down here before the end of May, I guess, we'll see. On the bright side, all this should be finished by then. And it is funny because it is kind of busy tonight. I mean, I see people on bikes everywhere. And putting that into perspective, obviously, because there are no other places really to go. You can't go to the, except for the harbor walk where we started the stream, there isn't really any place you can go for a walk except if you walk in the streets or bike. Of course, Mallory Square was one of the first places to shut down because people would group there. Now it is a pretty big space. If it was open and they would just use the head gun to make sure people don't group, I think that would help keeping traffic down a little bit, because it's honestly, I mean, compared to some of the previous streams, this would be considered busy right now. Hog's breath. All quiet. It's kind of funny because they left the door open, some lights on. And just out of curiosity, I have to check if that TV is still on. Yes, it is. Looks like everybody just ran away. I don't see any chickens. There always were chickens hanging out at Hog's Breath. Again, Hog's Breath is serving food, so that's kind of where what the chickens came for. Although they also came for the music, obviously. We have videos of chickens chiming into the music. And this is something you see a lot on the side of the on the sidewalks. That lots of people are redoing stuff, throwing out old things, renovating, fixing things. Obviously, in the Ki-West climate, there always is something to fix. Let me see if we can squeeze through here. Ooh, looks like Tony's has moved to painting. With all the work we've been doing on our house, this is the blue tape on the windows is very, very telling. Okay, let me grab my homemade chicken feed and feeding the chickens. Again, if you're joining just now, we know we're not supposed to. Look at that. Fresh paint. So it is now official sunset time. I actually just noticing I'm walking in the middle of the street. That's one of the nice things. There's so little traffic. It's actually a little bit weird when you are standing at a red light with your bike and, you know, there's just nobody else around. looks like we're missing out on some beautiful colors. So these guys are just
You can't come on property, it's private property.
beautiful colors. So this was the last place where we locals could actually go for the sunset. We were here at the last stream like 2 or 3 days ago. So that is now closed down too. So unfortunately we cannot really see the sunset, but that's okay. We're just gonna go over and give those chickens some food. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. How does she know I have food? That is pretty impressive, guys. All I have in my hand is a plastic bag. And she just came running with her little chicks. So I was about to say they seem to have soil here and can find food, and they have grass there. So I feel really bad, but I'm not gonna feed those ones. They can find food. She's not happy about it. But she has a lot of greens. So yes, I'm not gonna feed her. Although it was pretty cute how she came running. Now the ones we are going to feed are the ones that are normally hanging out on Mallory Square, as well as that little alley next to El Maison de Pepe. So this, for example, is an area where there isn't much food or anything around right now. Everything is concrete, everything is paved. So let's give this a try. So this is the mixture I have, which is like a mix of cornmeal and corn. And I'm just gonna leave some right here. Just a little bit. There's a whole bunch of those chickens over there. You probably remember them from the other streams. Oh, let me just check something. Because, no, you cannot. There are some little accesses over here, little walkways over to Mallory Square. Of course, everything is closed. I might see some colors over here. Ooh, beautiful. Not sure if the camera picks it up, but we have some really impressive colors tonight. Beautiful sunset here in Ki-West. Hey. Hey. Can't see much of it, huh?
I know. It's on that spot.
Let me see if I can zoom in. So beautiful sunset.
Which tree? And can we see a thing?
Let's go and see over here. So this is a little alley where we have some chickens hanging out. And they seem to be the ones that normally are on Mallory Square. And right here at El Maison de Pepe. There they are. Oh, isn't that cute? They're dancing for the sunset. Oh, I'm so glad somebody else came to feed them. There is some food here. Like, there is a lot of noise going on here. Ah, looks like they're looking for their mom. I'm sure she's not far. Let's catch a last glimpse of the sunset. And then I promise I'll go and feed those chickens. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw some of these So again, these guys live off the popcorn on Mallory Square. Oops. Okay, Let me spread this out a little bit. There you go. There you go. Guys. So these are the chicken from Mallory Square. I just figured if I put enough out there, they're not being very smart. I put out several patches. Let me give them some more. I'm gonna put it over here in the corner. Don't want to start a chicken war here. But they're kind of funny because they just leave the respective spots and then just go for the next one. Okay, they calm down a little bit. They're hungry. So no popcorn, no food. Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for supporting our channel. Now he's following me around. Why are you following me around? Okay. What? Yes. How does he know that I still have food? Okay, come here. I hide it from the other chickens because you seem to be smart. There you go. And nobody bothers him. Isn't that cute? So guys, this is what Mallory Square currently looks like around sunset time. Hey. Okay. I'm keeping a little bit for the, I have to go back for that little chicken family. Yes. There you go. There you go. All right. It looks like they definitely prefer the whole corn to the chicken meal. Oh my god. To the cornmeal. Well, they do go for it afterwards, but I thought I'd get something for the chicks. It's a little bit smaller. This is so beautiful. So guys, we still have music in Ki-West. We see a lot of locals riding around with bikes, with speakers. We're still doing music sessions on our porch actually, so if you guys want to come over on Saturday, 5 till 7, we'll have another music session on our porch, so 5 till 7 right here. This is what is normally the chicken tree. So you had, last time we counted like, oh my god, isn't that cute? Look at that. We have a couple sitting up there. It looks like they have been watching the sunset from up there. Who says romance is dead? Look at those chickens, isn't that cute? Sitting there. Look at that couple dancing. Around sunset time. This is the alley of the chickens. I'm gonna put some more food around here, and then I keep some of for the little chicken family. I do feel bad I didn't give them more earlier. I thought that since they had some, I will just put it here. Again, if you're just joining us, I just want to clarify, you're normally not supposed to feed the wildlife. We all know that, although these chickens, they kind of are in an area where everything is solid ground, no soil, where they can dig for worms, and they were pretty much dependent on the tourists on Mallory Square. We had people selling guac and chips and several popcorn vendors, etc., etc. So there was always a lot of food around for those chickens. So once everything was closed up, those guys started to become pretty hungry. This being said, some people here in Key West, in some neighborhoods, do feed the chickens. Then again, in some of the neighborhoods, you also do have more soil to dig, etc. So there are pockets of chickens pretty much all over the island. And I am absolutely sure I'm not the only one walking around and feeding those guys. I'm pretty sure that's what she's doing. So if this is your first time watching, guys, we are a live streaming channel mainly. Most of our content is streamed live, all the pros and cons that brings. And our next stream is gonna be on Saturday. It's gonna be a music stream, so we invite you to our porch. You can make song requests just by putting them here in the comments, of course. And ooh, now they are gone. The chicken family is gone. I'm gonna leave them some food then. It's true that this looks pretty dry. Well, and we are out of corn. So I have more mixed together, so next Key West update stream, we can come back and give those guys some more food. At least in the areas where they now no longer have food, because their primary food source is tourists. That sounds pretty much in line with a horror movie. So guys, one last look at Green Street. So as you can see, we're holding up here in Key West. Again, limiting our travels, limiting our time out of home. Most people are going out for a walk in the morning or at night when it gets cooler. Of course, in between you go and get your groceries if you can. We have a lot of small stores where we can actually bike to. There hardly ever is anybody in there. We have some. We actually have a. I went to my favorite health food store the other day, and they only let in like 2 people at a time, so you can just walk in and, you know, get your stuff. Don't worry about getting too close to other people. It's pretty easy to keep 6 feet apart if you're 2 people in a store, no matter how small the store is. So these are the things going on here. Of course, you have heard that Florida has now put a stay-at-home order in, which is what we've been doing for quite a while here in Ki-West, with I think the latest and biggest addition being the roadblock on US 1 up in Key Largo. So, because obviously we closed the hotels for the tourists a while ago, after we stopped the cruise ships, etc., but we still had day trippers from Miami coming down. So now you can only come down to Key West if you can actually prove why you're here, if you work here, own a property. So you need your paperwork. So as you can see now it has quieted down. Everybody has finished their walk. I'm gonna wrap up and head home too. There we have one more person on the streets. So the sun is set. It's getting even quieter here in Key West. I'm gonna be back with an update walk on Sunday night, same time. So Saturday we're gonna have the music stream from 5 till 7, and on Sunday at 7 we're gonna have a little sunset walk. Check out the roadworks here on Duval Street, see how far they have gotten. Maybe go and feed some chickens. And I really like to do this. I am going to end the stream in the middle of Green Street and Duval Street. So guys, I hope you enjoyed a little walk. Hope you enjoyed the sunset view. Sorry we didn't have more view of the actual sunset, but hey, what can you do? Again, we'll be back on Saturday. Taking a day off tomorrow, finishing those floors. Have a great night, everybody. Stay safe. Take care. Bye.